Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Koleno, and these are confidential remarks intended solely for this audience. Today, I want to explore a journey that many people experience but struggle to describe. It's the movement from living through performance, achievement, and constant external validation towards something much deeper: authenticity. Many of us have spent years mastering how to succeed in the world. We've learned how to produce, compete, achieve, and perform. Yet for many people, there comes a moment when those systems no longer feel meaningful. This presentation is about understanding that moment, not as failure, but as an invitation. An invitation to reconnect with the part of ourselves that existed before the expectations, the roles, and the performance. When people begin losing interest in goals, routines, and pursuits that once defined them, the immediate assumption is often that something is wrong. But what if that isn't true? What if the loss of enthusiasm is not evidence of weakness, but evidence of awareness? Sometimes the spirit stops cooperating with a life that no longer reflects who we really are. The energy doesn't disappear because we're broken. It disappears because a deeper part of us refuses to continue participating in something that feels disconnected from truth. What appears to be a breakdown may actually be a sacred refusal. A refusal to keep investing energy into a version of life that no longer resonates. The process of waking up often arrives disguised as discomfort. Conversations that once seemed normal begin feeling empty. Obligations that were once manageable suddenly feel exhausting. Emotional reactions that used to dominate your life start losing their intensity. Many people become concerned when this happens because it feels unfamiliar. But these experiences often indicate that your internal operating system is changing. You are becoming less reactive and more aware, less interested in maintaining appearances, and more interested in what is genuinely meaningful. What feels like disconnection may actually be a reconnection to something deeper. One of the most unsettling parts of transformation is the feeling that you're losing yourself. But in many cases, what you're actually losing is a carefully constructed identity. Over time, we build versions of ourselves designed to succeed, earn approval, and fit into expectations. These identities can become so familiar that we mistake them for who we are. When those structures begin falling away, it can feel frightening. Yet beneath the mask is something far more valuable: your authentic self. The self that does not need to perform in order to deserve belonging, purpose, or love. The goal is not to become someone new. The goal is to remember who you were before the mask became your identity. Modern life is designed to keep our attention moving outward. There is always another notification, another task, another headline, another demand for our focus. Over time, we become conditioned to respond to external signals while ignoring internal ones. The result is a kind of system override. We become highly informed about what is happening around us while becoming disconnected from what is happening within us. The challenge is not that we lack information. The challenge is that we rarely create enough silence to hear our own inner guidance. Many people describe this stage as feeling flat, numb, or uninspired. But often what they're experiencing is not emptiness. They're experiencing the absence of constant stimulation. For years, our attention may have been pulled in every direction. When that noise begins to fade, the silence can feel uncomfortable. Yet that silence serves a purpose. It creates space for something deeper to emerge. It allows intuition, reflection, and genuine clarity to become audible again. The quiet is not the problem. The quiet is the doorway. There are two very different ways to navigate life. The performative self is focused on achievement, validation, security, and appearances. It asks, how do I succeed? The true heart asks a different question. It asks, what is meaningful? One approach is driven by fear of inadequacy. The other is guided by alignment and purpose. Neither logic nor achievement is inherently bad. The issue arises when performance becomes the ruler instead of the servant. A fulfilling life is not built by abandoning capability. It is built by placing capability in service of authenticity. From an early age, most of us are taught to trust logic above all else. We learn to justify decisions, analyze outcomes, and seek certainty before taking action. While those skills are valuable, they can create an imbalance when they become our only source of guidance. The heart provides information that logic cannot always access. It senses resonance, meaning, and alignment. The goal is not to reject the mind. The goal is to restore balance. A healthy life allows the heart to determine direction and the mind to help execute the journey. The mind is extraordinarily powerful. It can plan, organize, optimize, and solve problems with incredible efficiency. But there is a difference between building a path and knowing where that path should lead. The mind excels at execution. The heart excels at direction. When the mind becomes the decision maker, we often create highly efficient lives that lead us somewhere we never truly wanted to go. When the heart provides the destination and the mind provides the strategy, life begins to feel coherent again. Logic views reality through a lens. It focuses on evidence, certainty, and what can be immediately justified. The heart functions more like a compass. It senses possibility before proof appears. It recognizes alignment before logic can fully explain it. Many of the most important decisions in life are made this way. Relationships, purpose, calling, and meaning often begin as a feeling long before they become a fact. Wisdom comes from allowing both perspectives to work together. We live in a world where information is abundant, but truth can be difficult to recognize. Technology, media, and competing narratives make it increasingly easy to confuse appearance with reality. This is why discernment matters. Discernment is the ability to sense what is genuine beneath the surface. It requires more than intelligence. It requires presence, awareness, and a deep connection to your own internal compass. As the world becomes louder, discernment becomes more valuable. Most people spend tremendous energy trying to eliminate discomfort, but discomfort often carries important information. It points toward areas of misalignment. It highlights places where our actions, values, and truth are no longer in agreement. When we ignore that signal, the discomfort tends to repeat. When we listen to it honestly, it becomes a guide. Growth rarely begins with comfort. It begins with the courage to pay attention to what discomfort is trying to teach us. Authenticity is not something we manufacture. It is what remains after we stop pretending. When we remove the distortions created by fear, approval seeking, and performance, something remarkably simple emerges. Truth. The journey is not about becoming more impressive. It is about becoming more honest. And when we become honest, we naturally become more aligned, more peaceful, and more connected to who we truly are. Many people begin at a place of high achievement and external success. From the outside, everything appears to be working. Then comes the sacred refusal. Energy begins to withdraw. Old motivations lose their power. This leads to a quiet space where certainty disappears and listening begins. Although this stage feels uncomfortable, it is often where the most important transformation occurs. Eventually, a new form of alignment emerges, not based on performance, but on authenticity. And from that alignment comes a more sustainable kind of fulfillment. As we conclude, I want to leave you with a simple thought. If something inside you has been withdrawing from an old version of life, do not assume that something is wrong. It may be that something profoundly right is happening. Sometimes the distractions stop working because reality is asking for your attention. Sometimes the loss of motivation is actually the beginning of clarity. And sometimes the path forward begins not by pushing harder, but by listening more deeply. The invitation is simple. Trust what is real, honor what is true, and allow your life to be guided by authenticity rather than performance. This has been Confidential Remarks.